Have you ever wondered how the amazing automotive toys of tomorrow are constructed or even deconstructed? Well then, fair patron, today is your lucky day. Hold on tight, folks, because this informational film is just the cat's pajamas. Firstly, the engineer will remove the highly detailed automacar from its clear Bakelite sleeve or blister. This is a process by which the engineer uses dimethyl ketone to soften the adhesives which hold the protective blister onto the cardboard card. Uh-oh, it looks like he hasn't quite finished the job. Not to worry, this is a minor setback for this fantastic engineer at best. Just look at that modern beauty. Here you can see that the engineer is using a flexible necked rotary tool to remove the studs from the bottom of the vehicle. It's the finest of future technologies at his fingertips. It appears that this Plymouth model is quite a bit tougher than he first imagined. Not to worry though, he's a professional. Perhaps it's time for a bit more of an aggressive tool. By golly, he's finally got it! After a short inspection of the individual components, he'll place the coach in an aerosolized mixture of dimethyl glutarate and cocamine to remove that pesky paint. It appears that this can may have seen one too many deconstructions. Within only a few hours, the engineer can now wipe away what remains of the paint. While it doesn't work perfectly every time, this body will be headed back to the paint booth for more stripping. After a dash of isopropanol, the coach belt body will be ready for a stout polishing. Yes, it would appear that the aerosol mixture worked better the second time around. With a different tool head locked into the rotary, the engineer will now start to polish the body. Now that the body has been thoroughly prepared, it will be moved back to the paint booth for a nice even coat of aerosolized preparatory primer. This undercoat will help the paint to adhere more evenly to the body. As soon as the primer is dried, the engineer will begin painting the vehicle with an aerosolized paint. We truly are living in the future, folks. Once the paint is dried, he'll move on to what he calls the replicatory process. The engineer may have hit a snag here. You see, the model that he's trying to replicate does not have the spare tire. Instead, it's got a rumble box. Also, the headlights on the fenders have to come off. The headlights on the model that he's replicating are actually on the doghouse. He'll use a pin file to sand down the fenders to make them smooth. Gosh, it's like the headlights were never there. It seems that this engineer is becoming a bit of a perfectionist. It's back to the rotary tool to cut out that spare tire. Even modern materials like Bakelite stand no chance against the grinding wheel. Here you'll see that the engineer is placing some of the pieces together to make sure that they fit together before he actually assembles the vehicle. By George, that's starting to look like something. The engineer is now using cyanoacrylate adhesive to apply some of the ancillary items to the frame. It looks as if just a tad more of the fenders need to be removed to install the rumble blocks. It appears that this particular Plymouth may have had a rough life. Using a superheated needle, the engineer is going to replicate a bullet hole that's in the windshield. Now the engineer intends to use a paste body filler to fill in the gap where the spare tire used to be. Once the body filler has dried, he'll get out his trusted pin files and sand it down. The engineer has created some Bakelite rims for the vehicle. They'll need to be sprayed with the aerosolized paint as well. Now it's time to apply the signage to the doors. If we had more modern cameras, we might be able to focus on them. That looks fantastic. After one more fitment test and reassembly, the engineer tells me that it's time for what he calls glamour shots.